Cloning, a word that once belonged solely in the realm of science fiction. Now it's knocking on the doors of our hearts, whispering promises of resurrecting beloved pets. But is it a miracle or a moral minefield? Pet cloning, in its simplest terms, is the creation of a genetically identical copy of an existing or previously existing pet. This isn't some fantastical rebirth, mind you. While the resulting clone will share the same DNA as your beloved Fido or Mittens, it won't possess the same memories, personality quirks, or that adorable limp from the time it chased a squirrel up a tree. The first successful cloning of an animal, Dolly the sheep, shocked the world in 1996. It wasn't long before the human gaze, ever seeking solace and solutions, turned to the prospect of replicating our furry companions. In 2001, a cat named CC, short for copycat, made history as the first successfully cloned pet. Since then, the industry has cautiously blossomed, with companies offering their services to heartbroken pet owners, eager to, in some way, reunite with their departed companions. However, this technology, though undoubtedly remarkable, is not without its critics. The ethical implications alone are a tangled web, raising questions about animal welfare, emotional exploitation, and the very essence of life and loss. Let us delve into this fascinating and complex world of pet cloning, shall we? We'll examine the arguments, the science, and the emotional undercurrents that drive this intriguing, albeit controversial, field. The ability to clone pets has ignited a firestorm of ethical debate. On one side of the ring, we have animal welfare advocates concerned about their potential for exploitation and suffering. Cloning, even in its most advanced form, is still a process fraught with uncertainties. The journey from DNA extraction to a living, breathing creature is complex, with no guarantee of success. Many attempts result in miscarriages or birth defects, raising concerns about the welfare of these animals created solely to satisfy human desires. Then there's the delicate matter of emotional manipulation. Grief, as we know, is a powerful emotion. It can cloud judgment and lead us to make decisions we might later regret. Companies offering pet cloning services often capitalize on this vulnerability, presenting a tempting, albeit often costly solution to the pain of loss. But is it truly fair to replicate a pet, knowing it can never truly replace the one we've lost? On the other side of the ethical coin, proponents of pet cloning argue that it's simply an extension of our existing animal breeding practices. We've been selectively breeding dogs for centuries, shaping them to fit our needs and aesthetics. Is cloning then merely a more precise tool in our quest for the perfect companion? Furthermore, they argue that if the technology exists and can bring comfort to grieving pet owners, who are we to deny them that choice? It's a complex question with no easy answers. Now, let's don our lab coats and delve into the fascinating, if slightly unnerving, science behind pet cloning. The process begins with the collection of a tissue sample from the pet, usually shortly after death. This sample contains the precious DNA that holds the blueprint of the animal. This genetic material is then carefully extracted and inserted into an egg cell from a donor animal of the same species. The egg cell, now containing the DNA of the original pet, is then stimulated to begin dividing, forming an embryo. This tiny cluster of cells, a genetic replica of the original pet, is then implanted into a surrogate mother who will carry the pregnancy to term. Sounds simple enough, doesn't it? Well, as with most things in life, the devil is in the details. Cloning is a complex and delicate process with a relatively low success rate. Many attempts fail to produce viable embryos, and even those that do implant successfully may not survive to term. Furthermore, while the clone may be genetically identical to the original pet, factors like environment, upbringing, and even random chance can influence its personality and behavior. In essence, while you might end up with a dog that looks exactly like your beloved Rover, it won't necessarily fetch the newspaper with the same enthusiasm or greet you at the door with the same sloppy, wet kiss. The scales of sentiment weighing the benefits and drawbacks. The prospect of pet cloning, like a coin glinting in the sun, has two distinct sides. Let's weigh them, shall we? On the plus side, pet cloning offers a glimmer of hope for those struggling to cope with the loss of a cherished companion. It provides a way to, in a sense, keep a part of their beloved pet alive. For some, the idea of having a genetically identical animal sharing the same quirky mannerisms and physical characteristics, can be a source of great comfort and solace. Additionally, as the technology advances, it could potentially play a role in preserving endangered species. By cloning endangered animals, we could help to increase their dwindling populations and safeguard their genetic diversity. However, the path to clone companions is not paved with rainbows and sunshine. The cost alone is enough to make even the most devoted pet owner wince. Prices for cloning services can reach into the tens of thousands of dollars, making it a luxury few can afford. Then there's the ethical minefield we've already tiptoed through. The high failure rate and potential for animal suffering raise serious concerns about the welfare of both the clones and the surrogate mothers. Furthermore, critics argue that cloning perpetuates the misconception that pets are replaceable commodities rather than unique individuals, deserving of our love and respect. Public perception, a divided heart over replicated paws. The public's reaction to pet cloning is about as varied as a dog park on a Saturday afternoon. Some greet it with open arms, eager to embrace the possibility of reuniting with their furry friends. Others, however, view it with suspicion and unease, questioning its ethical implications and long-term consequences. Surveys have shown that public opinion on pet cloning is sharply divided. While a small percentage of pet owners express interest in cloning their companions, the majority remain hesitant or outright opposed to the idea. Concerns about animal welfare, the high cost, and the ethical implications of replicating life are among the most commonly cited reasons for opposition. Furthermore, many people simply feel uncomfortable with the idea of tampering with the natural order of life and death. The debate over pet cloning is likely to continue for years to come, as technology advances and societal attitudes evolve. A final thought. Where do we go from here? So, we've reached the end of our journey. Pet cloning stands as a testament to human ingenuity, yet it brings forth a myriad of ethical questions and emotional complexities. It offers a chance to defy the natural order, but what are the implications? We've uncovered the science, navigated the ethical maze, and gauged the public's varied opinions. Yet, the fundamental question lingers. Should we pursue pet cloning? It's a complex issue, demanding a deep reflection on our values, duties, and bond with animals. In the end, the choice to accept or reject this technology is ours to make. What is your stance?